How's it? My name is Brendan and I want to welcome you to the Be Creative channel. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about getting the best finishes using spray cans. Now, some of you have probably used spray cans and you've gotten really good results. Now smooth finishes or what appears to be smooth finishes. Some of you might have ended up with sort of like a grainy or textured appearance to your finish. Some of you might have experienced fish eye or orange peel. Okay, it's perfectly normal. It happens. And that is due to the fact that when you're mixing the can, everything that's inside the can is not mixing completely so that it all dissolves and sort of like makes it one sort of like solution that's coming out, you get a bit of separation. This especially happens with matte paints. Okay, now matte paints, well, all spray cans are basically a pigment, and inside the pigment you've got your carrier and your aerosol and your solvent. Okay, now with matte paints, they add in a matte powder or matting base, which basically creates that sort of matte effect. This is where you'll experience, like some people will have, they'll spray a matte paint, but it'll have a grainy or textured appearance to it. You haven't done anything wrong. It's just that over time, the matting base kind of like separates. It's a powder, so it kind of like separates from the solvent and the carrier. So you end up with the matting base settling at the bottom. And when you shake the can, it'll mix most of it, but not all of it. Okay? Now this technique that I'm going to show you is going to guarantee you that everything basically mixes together and makes it one cohesive solution that's coming out that's going to give you a superior finish that you've ever experienced in your life. Okay, now this can be used on any spray can. Okay, can be the hobby paints, like I've got the Tamiya color here. It can be normal hardware store spray cans. I've got the Montana Gold and Montana 94, which is what graffiti artists use for doing murals. And then there's also Vallagio's hobby paints. So any spray can, this technique or method can be used on all of them. Okay. So what are we going to need? First of all, we're going to need a container. And in that container, you are going to put in warm water. Now, I'm going to specify here. It has to be warm water, all right? Not boiling water, warm water. The reason why it has to be warm water is because if you put the can in boiling water, you're basically causing everything inside the can to heat up, and it's going to expand, and the can possibly explode or rupture, or it's not going to be a pretty sight. Okay, you're going to be cleaning paint up all over the place. Okay, so warm water. How do we know it's going to be warm water? Well, go to your tap, open your tap, let the water run for a bit so that it starts getting hot or warm, and put it in the container. And then to test it, you take 2 fingers, place it in the container, and you should be able to leave your finger inside there for at least 15 to a maximum of 30 seconds, okay, without burning or scorching your fingers. Okay. Once you've got the temperature right, you're going to take your can, you're going to place it in the container, and you're going to leave it there for 30 seconds, 30 to 60 seconds, okay? Don't need to leave it in there for longer. You can leave it in there longer. It's not going to affect it as long as it's warm water. Don't use boiling water, please. Okay? Once you've left it in there for 20 to 30 to 60 seconds, you then take it out, you shake it up, you put it back in the container again, leave it for another 30 seconds, take it out, shake it up. Now that heat has basically caused everything inside there to heat up and dissolve into each other. Okay, to give you an example, if you take coffee and you put sugar in if you take a cup and you take coffee and you put sugar in it and you add warm water to it and you stir it up, all those ingredients that you've now put into the cup with the water is now going to dissolve. The heat causes everything to sort of like break down and dissolve into the water, making it one solution, not separate items of a solution. Okay, so now you've warmed it up twice. You take it out, you give it a good shake, and then you're going to spray. Okay, just spray your normal way that you spray, however you've been doing it, and you'll be fine. Leave it to dry, check to see if you need to do another coat, spray another coat if you need to. Okay, I normally don't find that it's necessary to go, when I use this method, to do more than 2 coats, because with everything dissolving, the pigments get dissolved into the solution and everything, so you get a better coverage. Okay. Now I've done that. I've been busy with a project on the on this little pit droid from the Star Wars movie, and I use this to actually as the base color. Okay, and I got a really smooth finish. But I thought, you know, I need to show you people the difference between having a can that's been warmed and one that hasn't been warmed. So I've actually done a little piece of plastic here. It's just a piece of black plastic card. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in so that you can actually see what I'm actually talking about. So just give me a minute here. I need to just zoom in here. Okay, now on the top here is the effect without warming the can, and you can actually see very clearly how grainy and patchy it is. Okay, that's because the matting base and the pigments haven't all dissolved into one. Okay, so you then end up with sort of like a patchy and it has a slight grainy feel to it. Now some people will think, oh, it's okay, you know, it's a matte base, it's a matte paint and all that, but then you're going to have to go and sort of like sand it down to get a smooth finish. When you start sanding down paint, you tend to remove it, so then you're going to have to reapply. Okay, but now the next one that I'm going to show you is after I've warmed the can for 45 seconds. So I left it for 45 seconds, and you can see there, excuse the little spots of dust and everything, but you can see there that this is an absolutely smooth finish. You can actually hear that it's smooth, whereas if I go here, you can hear the slight graininess. Okay, so warm your can up, and this is the finish that you're going to get. Also, you can see that there's no orange peel, no fisheye effect. It's a totally smooth finish. So to conclude, to get the best finish from your spray can when applying the paint, okay, it's very simple. Warm water in a container, put your can in the container, leave it for 30 to 60 seconds, take it out, shake it, put it back in the warm water again, leave it for another 30 seconds, and then apply as per normal, like you would do all your spray can paints. Okay, you can use this on any spray can paint. It doesn't matter what brand or what manufacturer or what type of paint. It can be gloss paint, satin paint, semi-gloss, or matte paint. You're going to get the same effect, or you're going to get the same results every single time. If you are new to this channel, please go and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so that you can get reminded of updates of when I post content. If you give the video a like, so hit that thumbs up button, please. Also, if you have tried this effect and it has worked for you, then please come back to this video, write a comment and tell me what your experience is. Even if it didn't work for you, leave a comment. I will reply to every single comment. And if it hasn't worked for you, we can then discuss maybe how you did it, or work out a different solution that you get a nice, smooth, ultra smooth finish every time you use a spray can. In closing, I want to say to you, go out there, be inspired, be imaginative, but most of all, go out there and be creative. Cheers for now.